want to talk about eliminating darts. So we're taught that when we build these slopers, we need these darts in place, which is great for really custom fits. Two main reasons why I like to eliminate the darts is for a knit or maybe a more boxy fit. So let's start with the front. The main thing we want to do here is redistribute the darts that are already in place. So there's 5 points where I like to redistribute that these areas to. So one is going to be mid-neck here, and then mid-shoulder. Definitely measure just to make everything accurate. We want to measure to mid-armhole. Nice thing about the quarter size slopers is we've got that marked here with a notch. And then points 4 and 5 are going to be bust and waist. So I draw my lines to pivot from the apex. So this is where the nipple would be on body, rather than the dart point itself, which is 1 inch approximately on a full size scale away from the apex. And I'll use the highlighter just so everything's clear. So it's kind of like clockwork. So we've got 1.2 for mid shoulder, mid armhole, and then just so we can snip over from this dart point to the apex, and then up from the waist. So those are going to be our pivot points. So again, we're going to cut 2 and not through, just so that we can keep this center portion intact. I'm going to tape my center front where I want it to be, so just keep that straight. And I'm going to start with the neckline. So let's see what our added distance is between all of this, just so that we get a general idea of what we're redistributing. Probably should have done this first. So we've got about 3/8 inch here. This looks like it's probably 5/8. Yep, 5/8 inch here. So we've got a total of 1 inch that we need to redistribute throughout, and we can leave some here. But the main points that I want to talk about first to start reducing is neck and shoulder. We want to make this very minuscule to the grand scheme. So I'm going to add, for quarter size scale, I'm just going to talk in terms of that. So I'm going to add 1/8 of an inch here. But to be honest, full size scale, I do no more than 1/4 inch ever. So 1/8 of an inch is really kind of standard what I would do for a neckline, no matter what. I'm just going to make a note. So 1 inch to 1/4 inch total full scale. Hopefully you guys can read that. Same rules for the shoulder. I don't like to add a lot within my shoulder. So I do max out at 1/4 inch. So for this demo, I'm going to do the 1/8 of an inch here. The good news is that your armhole can take a lot of that movement. And while you keep this pivot point, I know we've measured, but it's also great because you know that you are distributing all that there is. So in the end, if you are just pivoting from here, you're less prone to like mess up any of these measurements. I do like to leave a little bit in the waist just because this point takes a lot easily as well as the armhole. You could entirely close up this bust dart. And these are all options. This is just distribution. Really just to get us through the first fit. But I like to close up the bust dart sometimes and then just give that really the fullness. Keep it in the waist and give it to the mid armhole. And then you can go back and just cross check to make sure. So that's now 3/8. And that's about 3/8. And then we know we've got 1/8 and 1/8 here. So I am back to my full inch. But like I said, minimize the amount that you're giving to the neck and the shoulder. You just don't want to skew your overall look. We're just trying to get rid of the darts here, but keep the same fit that we've established with our woven bodice slopers. And then you can reshape the armhole from shoulder down to the underarm just by using your French curve, just redrawing it entirely. So we're just going to shape out some of that excess that we put in here. Shoulders, you'll go ahead and straighten that out. Neckline, use your French curve here as well. And then same rule for the bottom. We just want to straighten it from side seam to center. And that is how we're going to rid of darts on the front. To rid of darts on the back, I like to keep this pretty simple. Rather than doing any slash and close pivot methods here, I just like to measure the width that I have at my dart, so leg to leg, and then take that width. I typically just remove it directly from the outside shoulder, but you are absolutely allowed to split this difference and take it from both the neck and the shoulder, and your armhole. Take this down just so you can kind of see it. So we're going to straighten the shoulder. And move that point in, just so we can make sure our shoulders match. Let's see if these guys are going to walk out. Yeah. So then double check that everything walks out. This definitely will, because we've closed this up entirely. So your side seams will walk out, your shoulders will walk out. And every other adjustment you can make after your first fitting. The other thing I'm going to talk about really quickly is sleeves. So I've got 2 long sleeves here to show. So the reason we've got a dart in our elbow is just for shaping. So if you have a woven garment, even when our arms are hanging down at our sides, they don't hang straight down. So we've got this dart here, which you can absolutely keep a shaping with a knit fabric, but you have to remember that you can't just eliminate this dart because your underarm seams will not walk out. So if we want to eliminate the dart, and I just like to round this corner, or like this shape here, so it's not going to be pointy, but we want to measure the dart width from leg to leg. So I've got maybe 3/16 of an inch on the quarter size sloper. And I just like to take that directly from this hem. So again, it's just kind of this give and take because we want the 2 underarms to walk out.